An absolutely ridiculous loss for the Cubs in Detroit. We talk about it live next.
You are Locked On Cubs, your daily Chicago Cubs podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
You are Locked On Cubs, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. I am Sam Olber, and I am not happy. Please support the show by following on your preferred audio platform, and you can watch, subscribe, and leave a comment on YouTube. Thanks so much for making us your first listen. We are lifelong fans taking our passion into a discussion with you on all things Cubs. We are live right now. Can somebody in the comments, or a couple of you, because I'm by myself, just make sure. Can you hear me okay? Can you see me okay? I don't have Matt. Matt doesn't have me. So I just want to make sure, you guys could see me and I'm connected. So if somebody could just throw in a nice comment that you could see me, hear me, so I could know. I think we're good. Perfect. Awesome. All right. An absolute disaster. A disaster tonight. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. And if you want to tell me that I'm too hard on Ross, then maybe this show isn't for you. Because this is the same guy that said every single person and everybody that's in the chat, I promise, if you see on my board there, I'm going to get to any serious questions or comments you have. Save them for the second half of the show. I'm going to address all of them. Right now is my time. And with my time, I am going to really get into David Ross's decision-making on Tuesday evening. Okay? Let's get right to it. All right? Drew Smyly gets the start. Now, we can sit here and debate all night whether that was really, really dumb or, could it have worked? The reason why I didn't go after that on the shows leading up to it is because I didn't think he was going to pitch very long. I thought he was going to be a glorified opener. I thought he was going to throw 2, maybe 3 innings, one time through the order. That's what Matt suggested that last week, and I completely agree with him. I don't think anybody envisioned that he was going to get an 80-pitch cushion tonight in what basically is a playoff game. Now, let's get to where it gets to the point where I had my tied for first biggest meltdown of the season during this game at my apartment, and I'll tell you what it's tied with. The irony also has to do with David Ross and Drew Smyly. Okay? The Cubs are down 3-0, and this kid pitching for Detroit looked great. I was actually on the phone with my cousin during it, and I was bragging. I was telling him, man, this kid looks great. I hang up the phone. Cubs hit 2 2-run home runs. Phenomenal adjustment by the Cubs. They started really laying off borderline pitches, got a couple cookies. Dansby Jamer didn't miss it. It's 4-3. At that point, I say to myself, fine, the Smyly thing's done. Now you go straight to Wisniewski. You don't mess around. Then they bring Smyly out. And I say to myself, okay, it's probably because Meadows is up and he's a lefty. Smyly doesn't even get out lefties, but fine. And he walks Meadows on 5 pitches. And then here's where I might have to walk off the show. I might not be able to finish the show tonight. They pan to the bullpen and nobody's warming up. Nobody was warming. It was a ghost town. Wisniewski was doing some stretches. What are we doing? This is a playoff game. Smyly had nothing. And then Smyly blows the game. The 3-run deficit becomes another 3-run deficit. And then they go to Wisniewski. Oh, my God. I was storming around my apartment. I was storming. The only time I even came close to matching the same energy was the 4th game of the season when Drew Smyly was left in a batter too long, when Keegan Thompson was warming up. He gave up a 3-run homer. Keegan Thompson came in, threw 3 shutout innings, and the Cubs lost by 1. You cannot bring in guys that late. This was an easy win. The offense, the offense was outstanding. Outstanding. You wasted a huge Dansby Swanson game. We talk about it. Once every couple of weeks, he's the best player in the world. He drove in a bunch of runs today. You wasted it. And I'll say it. I've said it on this show multiple times. I sound like a broken record, and I will say it again. If the Cubs don't make the postseason, it will be because, and only because, they have given away over a dozen games with basic margin decision-making. Mancini in right field, Mancini in first base, Barnhart, Terrens, Rios, Wisdom at first base on Friday, and now running out Drew Smyly, who, by the way, before he even gave up a run tonight, looked like he just found out his dog was sick. I mean, his body language, I hate to be the body language police. It was about 5:50 Central Time. I just got home from work, and I thought the game was 8-0 by just looking at his face. He looks miserable. Miserable. I just can't. Losses don't bother me. Like, if they lost last night, when Fulmer got lit up, fine. You know, players are going to lose games. You can't lose these critical games at this time of the season with basic decision-making. There are so many better options than Drew Smyly. He gave up 7 earned. How is he still in the game to do that? And I swear, if Ross's response is, hey, got a lot of games coming up, not a lot of off days, got to save the pen. Why? Every game matters. Worry about tonight. Does anybody in the chat actually care who pitches when the Cubs are down 6-7 runs anyway? I don't. You could bring up anybody for that to eat innings. This is how it should have went. Wisniewski should have started the 4th inning. That's not hindsight speak. Everybody knew that before it happens. Then you would have went to maybe Palencia, and then you had Merriweather and Adbert available tonight. It would have been an easy win. And you gave it up for nothing. For nothing. And I don't know. I don't even know what else to say about the game. I mean, there was so much good that happened offensively. The Cubs offense, they did a great job. Suzuki had another good game. Swanson was really the star, and then Jamer. I mean, that ball that he hit, it was so unfortunate that down the left field line that should have drove in a run, and it hit the sidewall and kicked back, so Suzuki couldn't score. But you know, it really, you know, I haven't read the comments yet. I'm going to get to that here in a few minutes, but you know, I hope nobody in the comments is saying, "Oh, you know, this is a bad loss." This loss is on. It's Ross and Smyly. There's nobody else. There's no even reason to bring anyone else. Yes, Quast didn't pitch well in the 9th. He shouldn't have been, or the 8th. He shouldn't have even been pitching. It wasn't his game. If they had a lead, he wouldn't have pitched. It would have went Merriweather to Ausley, and they would have cruised. And look, long term, I think we know that the pitching is a huge issue, right? I don't think it's sustainable to count on Steele, Hendricks, Tyone, Assad, and then whoever this 5th guy's going to be, because it's not going to be Smyly. We know that. But that doesn't take away the fact that this was a winnable game, and you've given away so many games. You should have a huge cushion right now in the postseason, and you don't. And you don't because of incompetent decision-making at the margin level. And I don't even think this is even considered marginal. I think if Matt were on the show, he would correct me and say that this isn't even on the margins. This is just basic. And whoever the guy is, we could do that a different time. Wicks, I think Shane Green threw the ball well tonight at AAA. I would have just went with Wisniewski. But I'm not even upset that Smyly started. I'm upset how long he was left in the game. They let him face Torkelson for a 3rd time. I'm surprised that ball didn't land in my backyard pond over there. Oh, man. I am... What a momentum killer. The last 2 losses that they've had were losses that they beat themselves. Friday, Patrick Wisdom, first base. And tonight, Drew Smyly getting a start. And how many pitches did he end up throwing? At least 80 pitches. Trying to think any other highlights before I toss it to you. Look, before I toss it to you guys, Wednesday now becomes a very important baseball game, and it's the game that I had circled as the most difficult one of the series. Skubal's a good pitcher. He's a lefty. We know how that works. It's an early game. The Cubs don't play well during the day compared to the night. They now need to win this baseball game, or you're not going to feel good at all heading to Pittsburgh. One more quick point I want to make. I don't understand pitch hitting Nick Madrigal in the 7th inning for Mike Tauchman. I just would like to explain my reasoning for that. It has nothing to do with my like for Mike Tauchman. Same thing would have been if it was for Ian Happ or anybody else. I want Nick Madrigal hitting with men on base. I want Mike Tauchman getting on base, taking advantage of his on-base skills. Burning him in the 7th inning with nobody on and nobody out because of a lefty who he has a 364 OBP against versus Nick Madrigal's 330 OBP makes no sense to me. It worked out, I guess, because in the 9th inning, Madrigal got like a lucky infield hit that should have probably been an infield hit. But I just thought that didn't make sense. And yeah, look, the Brewers are getting hot at the right time, and the Cubs aren't taking advantage of this stretch. And if they don't start winning games soon, it's going to be pretty much just focus on the wild card only. This was a devastating loss, and I'm interested and excited to hear what you guys feel about it, and we're going to do that next. But first, this episode is brought to you by eBay Motors. For a championship team, it's all about making sure every player is a perfect fit. It's the same when it comes to your vehicle. Every part needs to fit just right. So the next time you need parts and accessories, head to eBay Motors. With eBay Guaranteed Fit, you can be sure every part you need fits right the first time around. Just add your ride to my garage and look for the green check to know the part will fit or your money back. Because just like in sports, confidence is the name of the game when you shop on eBay Motors. And with over 122 million parts to choose from, you'll be back in the game in no time. After all, it's easy to bring home a win when the right parts are guaranteed. Get the right parts, the right fit, and the right prices on ebaymotors.com. Let's ride. eBay Guaranteed Fit, only available to U.S. customers. Eligible items apply. Only exclusions apply. And you could catch tomorrow's game. The Cubs play the Tigers at 12:10, a day game, a dreaded day game, 12:10 p.m. Central Wednesday. And you can listen to every pitch with the Cubs hometown broadcast on SiriusXM. On the SXM app, search Cubs or tune into channel 844 to catch the Cubs all season long on SiriusXM. Okay, we are back on Locked On Cubs. So what we're going to do with this here, for all the audio peeps, I'm going to put some comments up on the screen, and I'll read them out loud so you guys hear them. I would like you guys to ask me questions, make comments, whatever you want. If it's not appropriate, I'm not going to post it, so I wouldn't waste your time. And let me know what you think. And let's get right to it. So I'm going to start here with Aaron. Aaron says, another broken record comment, but Bellinger hitting 4th behind Happ, unacceptable. You want your best hitters getting the most chances to come up with the game on the line. Simple stuff. I could not agree more. That gets very frustrating when Happ, it seems like Happ makes the last out of every loss. Bellinger waiting on deck. I don't understand that one. But yeah, it's like a broken record. Like the batting order stuff, I just like to stay away from because I know it's not going to change. But this is one of those games, guys. I bet you that Jed Hoyer and David Ross had a conversation after this one. I really think so. Let's see here. I just want to make sure. All right, hang on. There it is. Sam, Ross is quoted after the game regarding Smyly, asking us to, quote, give him some grace. He's definitely going to be starting again unless Hoyer brings up Wicks. Is that a real quote? He said, quote, give him some grace. Is that real? Give him some grace. This is a pennant race. This is a pennant race. There's no grace. This is about winning. Who starts on the corners tomorrow? Joey, who starts on the corners tomorrow? Who do I think should start or who will start? It'll probably be Bellinger will be in center. I don't know. He probably will play Wisdom. It'll be Wisdom or Candelario at first, and then Madrigal at third. It'll probably be Madrigal and Candelario at the corners. Would be my guess, but I don't know. Ross said his first game back in the rotation, give him some grace. So that right there insinuates he's going to pitch again, and I just give him some grace. And remember, Ross is the same guy that said every game's a playoff game from here on out. That's the type of stuff that just drives me absolutely insane. Give him some grace. I'll give him some grace. If it's April 23rd, he can have all the grace he wants. It's August. We're fighting for a division championship. We're fighting to make the postseason. We're fighting to try and do something special. Who's giving anybody grace? Good. Oh my goodness gracious. Hold on. I just saw one I want to get to. Evan, should we give Wisdom a little more opportunity? No. Bring up Jordan Wicks and Luke Little. Yeah, like, the Wicks thing, I know a lot of people are curious about that. And what I would say with Jordan Wicks is it can't be worse than this. So why not try somebody with upside? My whole thing was, let's just give Wisniewski another go at it. Wisniewski has upside. He touched 97 again tonight. He could be a very good pitcher. It's just right now he can't get out left-handers. And, I'd rather let him try and figure it out than watch whatever that was today. Is Jordan Wicks left-handed? Yes, Gavin. Let's see. Let's see what we got here. Jermel, love the content, Sam. Appreciate it, man. I don't think Smyly should play another game as a Cub. Also, these are games that make me want to get rid of Rossi. Love the dude, but the Cubs would be wise to move on. That's a loaded comment there, Jermel. What I would say first is I don't mind Smyly on the roster. He looked fine as a reliever, 1 to 2 inning reliever, come in garbage time. I'm fine with all of that. Just don't start him and ask him to pitch 80 pitches, right? It doesn't have to be an extreme. You don't have to cut him. I don't think that's necessary. I mean, is he a better option right now than Michael Rucker? Of course he is. Out of the bullpen, absolutely. And by the way, he had fine outings out of the bullpen leading up to this random start. But Rossi says give him some grace. As far as the second part of your comment, everybody knows how I feel at this point. Hopefully the Cubs keep winning, but I don't have to go there. I don't have to go there. What other questions do we got, guys? Questions or you don't have to ask me questions. You can make comments, whatever you want. I mean, I'm not some sort of genius here. You guys know as much as I do. You can make comments. I'll put them up. Here we go, Brian. Let's see. This one looks good. Sam, these games are what make me hate and love baseball at the same time. I'm happy we are upset because we are finally in the hunt and would love if we made the postseason. Well said. Well said, Brian. I see a couple comments in there about like co-hosts and things like that. Yeah, Matt's coming back soon, so I'm not going to just bring somebody in for a few shows. I have a couple fun ideas, couple surprises planned until Matt gets back to bring somebody in. Maybe we'll do a crossover, maybe not with a Brewers host. I don't know. I know the show is different without Matt. I mean, Matt's the best, but he'll be back soon. So I'm not going to just like randomly just rent somebody, right? I may bring in some fun guests until he returns and we'll go from there. Here's a good one from Christian. Do you think Candy should be brought up in the lineup? Yeah. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. No need to elaborate. Here's a good one from Zachary. I see you, Zachary. Matt usually handles this a little bit better than me. There it is. PSA call up for Brewers series. PCA call up for Brewers series. Absolutely. I think he's going to come up for that series. They're going to look to spark the team, get him going. The question with PCA is who does he play for? Because I'm seeing a lot of people now saying, "Hey, Sam, your boy Talkman's really struggling." And to that I say, I understand he's had 25 plate appearances where he's had 4 hits and a few walks. if you want to give up on a guy after 25 plate appearances, that's just not my style. He's one of the reasons we got here. It kind of reminds me of that scene in the movie Miracle, if you ever seen that movie, where right before the Olympics, Herb Brooks brings in like a superstar stud that wasn't on the initial team. And the captains of the team come out and say, hey, why'd you bring this guy in? And Herb Brooks is like, give me one reason why I wouldn't bring this guy in and replace one of you guys. And the guys go, because we're a family. We got here. We got here like this. We want to stay here like this. I love PCA. I think he has a place on the team. I think he's going to be a superstar. But I wouldn't be so quick to just say no thanks to Mike Tauchman. I think that's unfair and disrespectful just because he's hit a little bit of a bump in the road. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. I think PCA will be here. I think he'll play a role. What else we got? Kevin, I appreciate it. I'm not going to put that comment, but he said I'm doing a nice job solo. I appreciate it. Let's see what else we got. Here we go. Here's a good one. EJS. Do you think Mervis needs another shot this year? He's a real first base, even if it's not optimal, still hitting it AAA, AAA. Yeah, EJS. Here's the thing with that. There isn't any room right now, right? Because if Mervis was the same hitter and he was right-handed, and he could play first against lefties and hit lefties, I would say he should be up immediately and Wisdom or Mastroboni can go. But they don't need any more lefty mashers that can't hit left-handed pitching. They have plenty of those, right? Where their offense is struggling right now is against lefties. Against righties, because Mervis can't hit left-handed pitching, so it's like they need more righties. And that's the other thing with PCA. They need guys that could just be like righty specialists to face lefties. So to answer your question, I know he's hitting in AAA. I just don't think they're going to bring him up right now. I'm so upset, guys. I love hearing from you guys. This is great. I just can't believe we dropped the game. I was so excited for a fun live. We probably would have been at about 500, 600, 700 people. Instead, everybody's depressed. All right, here's a good one. Tea time. Sam, better odds of Hap moving off the 3-hole or me winning the lottery? It's close. Tea time. That's a close one. I'm gonna probably say Hap. This is a great one from Robert. Sam's are plus 65 run differential. Milwaukee's plus 5. Need manager bad. Yeah, look, guys. The Cubs this year, two things can be true. They have done a very nice job and have had a very solid season. And you can't just say Ross deserves no credit for that. I'm not that stubborn to say that. He's kept the team together. They like playing for each other. They play hard. It's not like I'm saying he's not responsible for any of the wins. I'm not going to do that. That's just unfair. But if you've watched every game, you come across most of the time feeling like they're mismanaged in a lot of spots. Now, the decision to start Drew Smyly isn't as much Ross. That's a Hoyer Ross thing, right? I'm sure that was discussed. That's why I'm not even that mad about starting him. It's how long they left him in the game. And you got to leave. It's hard to leave him in the game. When Torkelson and Carpenter are like the 27 Yankees with Gehrig and Ruth. I mean, these guys, it's ridiculous. This Tigers team, by the way, side note, this Tigers team, if Javier Baez was even remotely competent, would be a pretty tough team. They can hit, and they got some good young arms. They're not bad. They're not bad at all. That stadium and that city is a different story. It's like a national park in there. There's nobody there, but they're not a bad team. What else do we got here? I say we got about 2 minutes, guys. Here's a good one. This is a good question. Who is the best pitcher available for the Cubs? I'm assuming you mean like not on the roster right now. That's a great question. I don't know. And that's a huge problem. I would say it's going to be clearly, according to Ross's postgame, if you guys aren't messing with me, it sounds like Drew Smyly might get another start. I'm sorry. I almost had to just leave. I'm sorry. I almost had to. But I don't know. Wicks. This guy, Shane Green, who's a veteran, threw the ball really well. Maybe he can get hot at the right time, bring him up. There aren't many options. It's not Ben Brown. There's not many options. But again, tonight isn't about Smyly starting. It's the length. It's knowing when to move on. You could have won this game with him. What else do we got here? Chris, saw you at Wrigley post game when the vibes were good, Sam. Chris, did you say what's up to me? Because somebody said hello to me. Was that you? If so, it was good to see you. If not, next time you see me, come say hello. Nobody ever talks to me, so I'm very approachable. Here we go. Brady always gives me some good stuff. Sam, I'm seriously concerned about the rotation moving into 2024. Amen. Cubs probably have to replace 3 out of 5 starters, still need a big bat / Bellinger back, and that is why I'm okay with a youngster. I wouldn't worry about the Bellinger stuff. Let that resolve itself. Going into next year, they have a real problem. I mean, Stroman's probably going to opt in. So you're going to have Marcus Stroman back. You're going to have Steele. My guess is you're going to have Hendricks, and you do have Tyone. So it would be really nice if they could just go get one power guy, and then you'd feel much better. Maybe Hendricks doesn't come back, and then you bring up one of the kids. But I don't have the mental capacity to worry about. If I start worrying about 2024 right now, Brady, there will not be a host to this show because Matt's got a couple of days, and I won't be able to take it because I can't. Starting thinking about 2024 makes me nauseous. Nauseous. I'm just trying to get this team to the postseason. Can I get some score updates in the chat? Are the Diamondbacks going to beat the Rangers again? I mean, what are the Rangers? Did the Cubs do something to Bruce Bochy? They get swept by the Brewers and then get walked off by the Diamondbacks? Start winning some baseball games. Brennan, here we go. Sam, I'm seriously concerned for this team in the playoffs. But Brennan, I'm not even going to read the rest of the comment. If they get to the playoffs, I'm happy. I totally hear what you're saying. Get to the playoffs, I'm happy. Okay? 7-3 Brewers. Oh, for the love of goodness gracious. Evan, has Suzuki gained back your trust in the month in April? Should he be number 2? Definitely don't hit him 2, Evan. I talked about that on the show, but if he's hitting 6th or 7th, yes, he should be back in the lineup every day. He's done a lot of great things. A couple more questions here, guys, and then I'm going to get off. This has been fun. As fun as torture can be after a game like that. Hey, Sam, your thoughts on Parker Meadows? Yeah, he looked good. I don't care about that guy. I know. He looked great. I don't care about that guy. I'm too depressed. Reds, D-backs tied. Brewers winning. Thanks, man. All right, two more. Chris, will Cade Horton be an option for the Pen? It's a great question. I think so. I think so in September. I think so. It's a tough one. I'm not going to get into who I think the lineup should be because I've said the same thing since April and it just doesn't change. So it's just why keep talking about it? It's not going to happen. Lewis, Shane Green tonight. I might be Lewis or Luis, so if I'm mispronouncing that, I apologize. Shane Green tonight, 5 innings, no runs. Yep, that's an option. That's an option for sure. I talked about that. And last question. I see it right here. I'll give thoughts on Morel right now. This is who Morel is. He goes up and down. If you take him out, you're probably going to miss on a clutch 3-run home run. You know, it's frustrating. I don't think he looks like terribly overmatched like he did last year towards the end of the year. I think he's one of those guys you just got to let be. But yeah, he needs to snap out of the funk quickly because the team is deep with offensive options. So, all right, I think that's going to be it for me, guys. I'm going to try and go live on Thursday after the Pirates game because I think solo, I like going live. It's fun to interact with you guys. I think it's easier for me. I think you guys probably like it better. We'll see where it goes. This was a very bad loss, and you know there's no reason to pull any punches for it. We can move on and forget about it if they find a way to win on Wednesday. It's a day game, matinee. Get ready. I hate these weekday games. It's very hard for me to watch, but I will do my best to keep track of it. And then I will have a show for you guys, of course, on Thursday. So I appreciate everybody in the comments. I know it wasn't the most exciting live today, but we'll be back and we'll be all right. All right. Shout out to the everydayers who are with us all 5 episodes throughout the week, and you could become an everydayer by checking us out each and every weekday. Be sure to hit that subscribe button for Locked On Cubs on YouTube and smash the like button for the algorithm. We are also on Apple, Spotify, and wherever you get your podcasts and streaming on Sirius XM. I'm Sam Olber, and this was a depressed version of Locked On Cubs. Take care, guys.